Yes, it was not long after everything opened up, and still was quite dangerous and uneasy. And we crossed the border. We didn't land in Kiev and went from there. We came from Romania because one of the participants on the trip was a very well-known leader, and he wanted to Bukovina, the place Aaron was born, was part still in Romania and mostly in Ukraine, and then he wanted to visit his village. It was in the border, and it was a very moving visit. Also, we find there the last Jew who remained. It was, and we were in the temple, in the synagogue, that beautiful old synagogue. And some months after we were there, he passed away. This the only Jew who remained in this village. And it was a very moving because they were. It was an old with drawings and it was a very moving place. And also because it was deserted, he took care. It was in a good situation, but. And then we crossed the border, and it was a very strange thing because the Ukrainians were not used. Suddenly, we come with a television crew with equipment, and they didn't know what to do with all the customs and all the. Well, we stood there for several hours. They took our passports, they put us in a room, and we have the feeling we will disappear. Nobody will know that we ever existed. But in the end, they came to rescue us from the hotel in Chernovitz, and with guards also. That they were, we needed guards then, and then we had a bus. Before we had a bus in Romania, and we have to change buses to a Ukrainian bus, and it took us. We were the television crew. They were also researchers from the Institute of Yad Vashem. This is the memorial of Holocaust here in Israel. And it was a very interesting trip. Also. The people who were with us were also interesting people because everybody had a story. For example, one of the crew was a young man. Told us that he was born in a kibbutz, and told us that his aunt phoned to him and said, well, we never told you, but I and your father and I were in this concentration camp there in the Ukraine, in the Transnistria, and your grandfathers died there, and they are buried there. It was a terrible place, and also Aaron was in the same place. And he never knew about it. They never told him. And sadly, he's traveling there, and it's a personal matter. He was completely shocked. Yes, because he thought that they were born in Israel. He didn't know even that they were very young when they. This was one of the the stories. were people also, the director of the crew was also from Romania, and also the producer, and everybody and then we arrived to Chernovitz, and Chernovitz was civilization, of course. And this beautiful city, then it was very much neglected. They said that now is better. And also the situation was very bad after the communist regime. It was quite, people were not in, but even so, it's a city, there is some, and from Chernobyl we went into the area of the camps of Transnistria. But in the beginning, we went to the village of Drachenets. That is that Aaron was there. It was summer, and was there when everything happened. And we didn't know what we will find there. It was 20 kilometers from Chernovitz. We arrived in the morning, very, very soon. And they stopped the bus, we went down, and we have a translator, also people who knew also they spoke Ukrainian. And, but of course we have before, between the two wars, the area was Romania. And there were people who spoke also Romanian, and Aaron also could, but he could understand and also to speak. And then suddenly appeared a man with a woman. He was in a wheelchair and down the hill, and approached us and we asked him if he knows about the Jews that used to be in the village. And he said, the beginning, oh yes, this one, and then he said several names that I don't remember. And he said, well, now I am very busy because I'm going to the doctor. And afterwards maybe we shall talk. And he went further with, and then we realized afterwards that we were very lucky that the same day the doctor came to the village. Because people, usually they are not there, they're in the care, they are working, they are there. Everybody came because they came to the doctor. Then we went further, we find another man, and we ask about, I don't recognize the place that the mill of his father and grandfather was, and they told him that the mill collapsed and it was rebuilt, and also that the houses of his grandfather were also destroyed, and that there are new houses there. And in fact, maybe it was true. And they began to ask what happened to the Jews. And nobody wanted, they said, well, there were Jews here, but they took him to another, to another village, to Strozhinets, to another city, and no, here nothing happened, until suddenly appeared a very old man. And they began to talk with him, and also has the same story about, but this time I said to him, this is not true. And I don't know why he broke up, and he said, well, I will tell you. I was in the Romanian army, was because the Romanian army was with the Germans, the people who slaughtered the people in the village. And in that time, one of the high Romanian officer was fascist officers was shot, and they blamed the Jews, and the Germans give carte blanche for several villages to enter and slaughter the Jews. And this, what happened, then we ask, what happened afterwards? And nobody it was a mass grave, but nobody wanted to tell us where it was. In the middle of all of this, also another old man who was more sympathetic and nicer and approached a little bit younger, a man almost Aaron's age, and it seems to be that he's a leader in the village, and he asks what is going on, and everybody talks, says, stop. What is? And then they said, this man is saying that his father is Appelfeld, and then the man stood astonished and said, Appelfeld. I was within you. I know you. I remember you. We used to play. And I came, I remember your mother, how beautiful your mother was. And he he knew exactly what happened. And that Aaron's mother was killed because she came back to eat some things. And Aaron was also sick. He was with mumps. And he escaped to the cornfield. The cornfield still till today there is a cornfield there. And he was older than Aaron, 2 years older, and he was so moved, and he hugged Aaron and cry, and he said to him, "Oh, you were such a beautiful boy." Because Aaron was always very dressed, in the village, that all the scoundrels and with skins and things, and he was with his nice outfits, and you were such a beautiful boy. And in the end, one of the people said to us, "I will take you to the mass grave." And then we went uphill, and besides were the fields, people were working in the fields, like once, everything by hand. And everybody was looking at us, stopping and looking at us. And some who came, the children came. And we arrived to a place who was completely wild. Everything grew wild there. They didn't touch. All around was worked out, but there was completely wild. And then one of the says is right. If this is because usually if it's like a place they are afraid to touch. And then it was a man there that was younger. He was 17 when it happened, and now he's an old man. And he said to us, "Yes, I buried. We buried them. They are here." And he remembered also. He knew all the people, and it turns out that everybody in the village knew where it was. The children knew, everybody knew, but they were afraid to tell, yes.